This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
So this is the Parks and Rec Commission meeting for August 12th, 2025. And it is 6 o'clock. I guess I will start taking notes since Joshua isn't here. So I might be a little slow. Okay. So first thing about the minutes, they just got added to the packet today, so we're going to actually hold off on voting on them because not everyone had a chance to vote on them. So we will do that at our next meeting. So I don't believe I see anyone online for public speak.
Nope.
There's nobody in the room, so there's no public speak this evening. So we'll dive right into the agenda. Updates on all the CPA applications.
So CPA skate park, historical, and spray park was on the preliminary agenda for city council last week. It is on finance subcommittee tomorrow night at 5:30 in this room. All three of those projects are being moved forward to the finance committee did set the public hearing already, which is September 3rd at 6:15. So that's the one. Finance will kick it to city council for public hearing. That's the one if people want to ask questions about projects or anything like that, city council usually asks questions regarding any of those projects. So that's the timeline on that.
Sorry, you said September 3rd at
6:15 is the public hearing in city council chambers upstairs.
And all three of those?
All three of those, yeah, all three of our projects are.
And there's city council finance will be meeting
Tomorrow night at 5:30. I am not attending, but I did talk with Tom Peak and acting mayor, city council president, and whatever else Salem's hat he's wearing right now. So we should be in good shape. Some folks from the skate park will be there to help answer questions. I'm just going to send a little note of an update to Tom tomorrow, just to kind of hopefully clarify anything. But he says he has a good handle on everything that we presented. He's been at the CPA meetings. He's been very active on knowing what these projects are, so he's comfortable with them. Anything on CPA? All right. Budget leadership transition. So I met with Salem when he became the acting mayor, had meetings with all the department heads, went very well. He's not going to move a lot of projects, big projects until after the election to see how it shakes out. It's not fair to another mayor or whoever to come in and have someone who's kind of warming the seat, as he would put it, for 3 months, add a big project to so I think we're kind of in a holding pattern for some of our other projects, which we'll talk about as we get through the agenda here. Park programs, camp. This is the last week for camp. Yeah, week 8. It went very well. We were sold out. Camp staff. It's just amazing to see how mature some of these camp staff, I call them kids, but they're young adults, how well they handle situations. It gives you hope for the future when I deal with the camp staff. They really do a great job. Pool, we have 2 weeks left of the pool. This week and next week, August 24th, that Sunday is the last day for the pool. We've had unbelievable weather. Not a lot of rainouts this year, which has been amazing. So they're doing well down there. Numbers are reflecting that, and I'll have the year-end numbers for September's meeting. We're, I think, we're almost to what we did last year with like 10 days to go. So, well, yeah, with a warm stretch that we have now and coming up even more, I think you'll see numbers definitely exceed last year's. Arts in the Park, we have 2 more shows left. This last week was very well attended. Folks love it that come out. So it's a great community free event that we get to offer. I think I mentioned in this last meeting. If not, I think we're looking to move them off Fridays though. Competing with the food truck Fridays, they like to use the Millside parking lot. It's very busy over there. So we're going to see if we can come up with a different day to try to accommodate. So people don't have to pick and choose events. You know, there's just another added event within the community. So we're going to research that for next year and potentially look at moving away from Friday nights. Summer, just in general, the summer has been really busy everywhere. Rentals, vehicles, picnic, you name it. It's been crazy busy. Staff's doing a really nice job. We are down our foreman who is still out and will be providing the types of services and that we like to provide. Swim lessons.
I was just going to sneak in. I had emailed you, but someone from the community reached out and was very happy about the flowers and the
Oh yes,
landscape,
yeah, the flowers.
things in the pots and how much of a difference it makes to the aesthetic down there, and just really grateful for the staff for keeping that up.
Yeah,
So
the
nice.
flowers at night said to Jeff just the other day, like they are just popping. They are like the flowers are amazing this year. Like the whole landscape is it's great to see people recognize that because it really is. It looks amazing. And out here too, the flowers out here are just tremendous. So yeah, those are the little things that we like to make sure we do. And I'm glad people see it. Rotary has jumped in and they started planting on the other side. There's a flower pot on Cottage Street side, Industry Riverside side. They started planting that, so we're watering that for them. And they've added some planters down below, so we're helping out with that too. So they got like their little green committee moving forward. They want to get some name recognition and some so people know who the Rotary are and what they do. So that's been great as well. We've been working with them and helping them where we can with that. So swim lessons tomorrow's the last day for swim lessons. Very successful, almost 30 swimmers this year between beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So huge success. It was great to bring her back. Definitely we'll have it next year for sure. You know, I think that Wednesday morning worked, but we'll have to kind of target it like we did this year, move some things around when the junior campers, if they're in camp, to make sure they don't miss out on trips. So there was some logistics that we'll have to make sure we keep an eye on and keep straight for next year. So they didn't have to choose it. It just turned out to be a little more of a logistic nightmare trying to pull it off, but everything went fine. Senior swim Tuesdays and Thursdays. They love it. Big crowds. You know, it's been really great to see. There's some seniors that would like to see more senior swim. You know, that's some of the communications we get. And I said, we pay for the lifeguards currently, and we did reach out to Council on Aging if they were able to assist and help out. That we'd be more than willing to give more pool hours if there was a financial assistance to help out with that. So we'll continue to work with the Council on Aging next year. I know they tried to get like a water aerobics class through the Y. It just didn't work out. So we'll try again next year and see what they can come up with. But there's that Friday slot, or if we move our swim lessons to Tuesdays, we can look at Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If they could get an outsource lifeguards or a class, we would definitely add that extra day in there for them. Next week, we have 4 days for the seniors because once camp is done, we open up senior swim from 12 to 2. So they get extended hours and they get Tuesday through Friday. So they get to enjoy that for next week. And seniors don't pay during regular time either. So seniors are in our community are always get the pool, to come and swim. So yeah, it's been great. They've had really good weather too, as well, like all of us. Anything on programs? All right, park facilities. I'm gonna,
Do that one last since it's gonna take the longest.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go to pickleball expansion first. The binder coat for the pavers, they're looking to get in Thursday or Friday. And once they put the binder coat down, then the fence company can come in, put the posts in and start prepping for the fence, and then they can come back and do the next round of the final coating. So we did give a little bit of a extension to the project for a couple of reasons, how busy they are and the painting company to get them lined up. They're just so busy that ours was kind of a tight time frame to get that done. So we're still anticipating a September completion date for this project. Once the courts are done, it's 21 days before you can paint them. So there'll be it'll look like they're done. Fence will be up, all that, but there's going to be a 3-week before they get painted. So I know the contractor's looking to get them in so they can move that project along.
So we think end of September.
Yeah, especially if they're getting the binder, if they can get in and do the binder this week, and that's a big piece because then the fence company can come in. So I was thinking it wouldn't be for another 10 days or so. So I think that could really help the cause to get us moving. New city playground, Parson 100% designs were in the packet. I don't think there's anything that jumps out. That was anything different than what folks have talked about. The Lincoln Street parcel, 100% design, should be here by the end of the month. So we'll see. When I get those, I'll send those out as well and for review. Nothing crazy has been changed. A couple of things with material, a couple of security lighting, low level, just a few spots, nothing high, but on the ground, and one on the entrance. And then I also had them add in electrical conduits that are buried in the ground for several reasons. If we ever do want to add lighting years and years down the road around the pathways, the electrical will be in place. If we want to host events on the grass or whatever, everything, the infrastructure is going to be in there, buried, ready to go. And it's much, much cheaper to do it now and get everything laid than trying to do it after. So that didn't really add anything to the project overall. So
What's the next step with that?
funding. That's going to be the good one. They're going to be looking at community block development grant, park grant, DCR, which DCR already gave $100,000 grant towards this project for the design. So the city's going to be looking at a lot of different grant opportunities for this. It's going to be a good sized number to piece everything together. I think trying to get Parson Street done because it's much cheaper to get it done and showing the neighborhood that there's progress being made on working towards new facilities there will go a long way. And then the other spot will be further down the line.
Don,
Yeah.
when would the grant applications be submitted for funding?
It's gonna be going through the planning department on this one. I would say probably spring of next
Okay.
year, maybe.
That's what I was expecting. That's what you were going to say. Okay. Yeah. It would be next year. Okay.
Yeah, it would definitely be next year.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then just because they're also looking at a park grant, is that currently park property or would that be explored first?
The first one is, the second one is city property. So it would have to be designated park property. In perpetuity. Memorial bench request, I think everybody, got that request. Brian, Peen is interested. He helped out with the last one. I'm not sure if, folks have seen it. It's next to the pool parking lot. Came out amazing. Beautiful bench. We do the concrete pad now, and actually we have a big planter with flowers in it next to it. And when you put a bench in a location like that, you start, I'm at the pool so much, this time of year, how many people sit and enjoy. Gets a lot of shade in the morning, even in the afternoon because of the trees there. So many people just sit and take in and have lunch, and I've seen people just have coffee and stuff. It really turned out to be a great location, and a bench that was, when you see it and see how many people are enjoying it, it really makes a difference in the park. So the next one is,
Do you want me to comment?
yeah.
So Brian Lepine is requesting from the commission to put a park bench in for a friend of his who passed away a few years ago, Chris Barron. And Chris and his family have strong ties to Easthampton and Nonotuck Park. He was born and raised in Easthampton and spent many years playing sports for Nonotuck, especially at Booster Field playing baseball. Chris's mother, Janet, was also a dispatcher for Easthampton Police. And so they are hoping to have a bench near Booster Field as well. But that, they would like to take part in that conversation and work with you, John, to find a real location.
Yeah, so as far as I have no concerns, yeah, I have,
Make a motion to.
yeah, I'm
approve
looking to accept the because it goes into park donation.
So a motion to accept the donation bench.
I would love to second this.
Great.
I know the family personally, so.
I think it's really cool, and I hope that we can work with them to find a spot in the sports section of the park, I guess, so.
Yeah.
We were big into sports.
Yeah.
Janet was my babysitter.
So I'll take a vote. We have to go one by one since we have people online. So Desiree? Yes. Kira? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And yes. Joshua? Yes. Marlene?
Yes.
And Carolyn?
Yes.
Unanimously approved. Let Brian know. Very old.
Excited.
Time to work.
So Park and Rec city properties inventory lists. I have this on there. It was something the mayor and I were talking about before she left for greener pastures, to go over city properties, what park properties, what's city owned. It kind of pieces together. We're working with the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. They're working with all Western Mass parks and cities and towns. They're going to come up with a comprehensive guide for folks. So if you're out and about and you're interested in going to see a park, or you're in a town and see what they have, there'll be a list like, okay, you come into Easthampton, here's Nonotuck Park, it's 270 acres, they got a pool, they got spray park, they got this, and it'll all be there for anybody. So if you're driving around Western Mass and pull into a town and be like, oh, I wonder if there's something, outdoor recreation here, it's going to be in a complete format. So as that project's moving forward with them, we're going through our inventory list and looking at our current things that are city of Easthampton's that we take care of, things that are actually park and rec and, Article 97, park property. So moving forward, as we get through, through the fall and the winter time, start looking looking at if properties are not Article 97 at this point, it should be. And what that means is that it's park property forever. It can't be a parking lot. It can't be, it is, it'll help funding wise. When we accept a park grant, like Donatuck Park, it's a park forever because we accept, park land, funding. So going through and getting these types of properties inventoried properly, we'll know what the checklist would have to be if we have to move forward and accept money and get into Article 97. So it's just kind of an organizational thing. It'll be good for next commission, next director, next everybody, planning department, everybody to kind of get a good handle on exactly. Because when we were dealing with the Pioneer Valley, just the boat launch over here on Water Lane, they thought it was ours. And it's like, no, it's not even, it's the state owns that. The state built that. That's their boat ramp. They have their own sign over there. They have their porta potties. There's everything. So kind of going through all this and making sure everything is inventoried correctly.
You say the boat launch is the state.
Yeah, on Water Lane is.
So if someone wanted to get something like a rack to put, for people to like rent out a space to put their kayaks or like canoes long term, like that would be requesting from the state.
Yeah, it's a fishing game that.
Oh, okay. Falls under them.
Yep, I still have the contact who did
Okay.
that. Mayor Mike might have been here still when we did that.
Someone brought that up, like it would be state would get money off of that though.
Yeah,
if they
that's definitely,
had something
that's
like
definitely the state's property. They maintain it, they do everything.
Okay.
They do the trash, everything, soup to nuts. That's theirs. All right, a couple of quick things. Just under park facilities, pool lighting in the bathrooms and the changing in the pool houses. So our maintenance Mondays, new lighting's been added. George and Ted have been going through on Mondays and kind of upgrading the pool house, and then new sod on the soccer field was installed today. So some of the other things that they're working on. Okay, maintenance building designs and costs. Everybody hold on to your seats. So option one and option two, as you can see, they kind of baselined everything out. Did some design work, and then on the end is kind of like what each block would represent for a room. Option one is the current maintenance building area that was removed, adding the community room, and then getting rid of the tobacco barn, which is the one next to the tennis courts, leaving existing office building. The second one is the L shape, which is replacing everything. And where the tobacco barn is backing up to the basket or the tennis courts would be parking, additional parking, and then creating kind of some buffer areas to slow traffic down as well through that area. So those, and then staff parking would be where the shed is currently, which could be removed sometime this fall. Like I said, the beginning with Salem serving as the interim mayor, and there's not going to be a lot of movement on this at this point until whoever's sitting in that office next decides. But this is the process that we went through. I think there's some fluff in here. Yes, me.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
So the maintenance bay is just where vehicles are going. Is that, it seems pretty expensive if we're just putting up like a garage type thing as opposed, like, are they doing something different than like a garage?
You mean where the tobacco barn is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they
So that
recommending we,
would just be a metal prefab building with the doors and bays.
Okay. that costs $3 million?
That would be, yeah, that's the one with that's doing both. Both
Right.
those, yes, but yes. Yeah.
3.6.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I figured some money is for the bathrooms.
Yeah. Yeah. I was astonished. That's all I can say when I saw the numbers, to be quite honest with you. Especially when we can go back when I did the original work and it was going to be $300,000 just to replace the maintenance building and
So
the two bay
What
garage.
happened to that, I guess is my question.
It's still on my capital plan. It's still out there. We don't have to move on this. It was to put us to coordinate with these folks and have them put together pricing, designs, and estimates for what potentially could be done there. One of the things that's in this and like many projects is prevailing wage.
Right.
Adds so much to a project. But even still, I don't know.
Well, and this doesn't even include anything that goes inside of the building.
No, this won't include like any furnishings. No,
Right.
nothing like
Right.
that. Nope.
Even like blinds or,
Nope.
things like
Nope.
that. So,
Nothing like that.
and on option, it does say demolition of existing buildings, but one is already down.
Yeah, so
So it would just be.
it would be
one.
the tobacco barn, and then if the existing building would
Right.
move.
Okay.
But it's still, I don't think those numbers are
But option one is keeping the existing.
keeping the existing office. Yeah.
May
And
I ask a question?
Sure.
I understand this is a study, so it
Yep.
gives you some idea. However, the actual design would be put out to bid, correct, John?
Yes,
Okay, just gonna make sure. So this is just to give us an idea of,
that's all it is. Yeah,
okay,
to give us sticker shock.
yeah.
Well,
Thank
this
you.
week they're going back with the insulated panels and not just a straight metal.
Well, you're
We
gonna
obviously went high. They're
you
not.
gotta insulate. You want to insulate it if you're gonna do it over
Yeah.
again anyways. And then you're also the recirculation systems are much different, and they have to be the code now. If you mess with anything that has gas or oil, anything, you have to have a proper air recirculation system in place. Yes, there's a lot of things that have changed since
Area back there
for
anymore.
where it was in the old days. So, but yeah, this is, like I said, it's a study. We can certainly take it or leave it and look at others, but it starts you always go high and then come down, then go low and go high. So it'll start the conversation. Might not get it started very long with that number, but it starts the conversation. At the end of the day, maintenance doesn't have a building, so something has to be done. They're not going to be able to work out of a 8x20 office trailer. We've had a good summer, so they've been able to utilize a non-heated tobacco barn, and do some work outside and things like that, but.
So John, out of the two designs, which one does it feel like meets your current needs the best?
They're,
From what the work everyone needs to do?
yeah, they're both designed well, like they both accommodate. I've always said the existing office building is going to last another 25 to 30 years all day long. I don't see why to throw something else that was just built 8 years ago. But my concern is always been for the maintenance staff. So, we don't need anything, maintenance staff and a community room are the two things that I've always targeted and thought was most important. But that tobacco barn, I mean, let's either pay for it and do it now or wait
Exactly.
another 6 or 7 years and do it again when prices have gone through the roof again. So,
Is there any benefit to your staff with having the bays connected versus, I mean, obviously it's not like a huge area over there anyways, but
no, there's
no benefit.
no, there was the L design, the second option of getting rid of the existing building and adding that, helps create a better flow, more parking, some other options for folks. As you can see, the staff parking, would be here, but when we get rid of the tobacco barn and go to the L, there's staff parking there, but then there's all the public parking right up in front that has access to the office, and it kind of creates a curbing too to slow traffic and create a safer spot. So
Potentially opens up more parking as well if you're going down the path of getting more events at Daily Field.
yeah,
$1 million more. Looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
If we,
before the mayor left, she said, it's gonna be, she thought it had to be bonded, and at these numbers, this project would have to be, there's no way it's capital, coming out of capital, it's gonna be a bonded project. And the timing of putting something together, with the council on aging moving forward on any type of, facility that they're looking to do, if we're going hand in hand, if you're gonna do one, if you're gonna bond one, you might as well bond both of them and just get it done with all one swoop, so.
2028, 2029 was the time for projects. I guess I have a question regarding how this all works. I'm still kind of doing it. So obviously we have the two options. Ultimately, what do we do, I guess, do we say like, we want this one over this one and then put it to council, or is it just like they're the ones ultimately? Like, how does, I guess, the next process work?
It's gotta go to the mayor.
Okay, so the mayor is the one that ultimately is gonna say which one, and then,
It will be the ultimate one to work with. This, with many other projects, if we want to move forward with anything, there'll be an open house, public hearing, give community feedback, those types of things. Go through those types of meetings, and get things hashed out. But
that starts happening, I mean, now we're talking 2 years out and 2 years without
Just doing
any
that,
kind of
yeah.
maintenance.
yeah, it's gotta,
Housing for them. at home.
whoever gets in there November, whatever, 4th is
either
gonna be like,
November 5th.
yeah, like, well, by the way, this is on the, I would like to see, based on what we're seeing here, if there's a third option that really just pares things down just to
Yeah.
Here's
Both
the
of them have the
basics.
same space though, right? From what I was seeing.
Yeah, they're
There's
both,
no like
yeah, they're both pretty
smaller,
much-
yeah, it's
they're
just where the buildings are located and parking's located.
I mean, if we got back to the point of just getting the community room and the maintenance building and a tobacco barn, rode out for another 7 to 10 years, and it was put right into capital plan right away. Like, okay, we know this, we're gonna do this project for 800,000 or $1 million, but be ready for, start saving.
Phase it out,
in
phase
seven-
one, phase
and-
two, right?
And, we've had to phase so many things when it comes to park and rec anyways, that we're used to it. But I think it's imperative to get the maintenance building back up, back on, in play here. And if it removes the tobacco barn at this point, it removes that piece. Our office is fine. It's more than adequate. So
Regardless
I can
of
go-
Design, it'd still be on the same timeline for when it would
yeah,
happen.
I mean, I can go back with them. I'm meeting again with these folks at the end of the month. I can go back with them and say, you know what, the sticker shock was just too much. How about just see what you could do with the maintenance in the community room? And just stay with that and leave, don't worry about replacing the tobacco barn or the existing office. And just kind of work with this spot here with the employee parking on the backside. Just go with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot. That makes me anxious going that route or telling them to just do a piece because, I mean, how long have you been asking or talking about the fact that that building needs to be done in the first place? And now we know that there's another issue over there and we're just gonna table it and the prices are just gonna continue to rise. So it's still going to be
Yeah.
a big price shock whenever it gets done. So is there a way to talk to them to skim down some of it? Like maybe there's some fluff and bells and whistles that don't need to be included in there.
Yeah.
You're mentioning, but see if they can piece it out in a phase 1, phase 2. So
Yeah, they'll work, we'll do whatever we want them to do.
just want to make sure you guys have a spot to work.
That's why I just want to get rid of, I'm not worried about, and phase 2 would be the tobacco building at some other point. That is not, that currently is housing some things, but normally it doesn't house things that we worry about weather-wise, because I mean, they've patched it and other stuff, but you can see right through the back
Right.
wall. I mean, there's,
It's just gonna get worse.
yeah, it's,
Is there anything do we have to build on that current footprint? Like what if the footprint was extended into the current parking lot, but then with the idea of like you're combining the tobacco barn with the maintenance building, just making it bigger, take down the tobacco barn.
Oh, I get you mean, and then the parking just moves closer to the tennis court,
Right.
double bays instead of.
Right, you put in bays and you have, I mean, I'm not a designer, but.
You could just
so
do.
you're almost in front of the park and rec. We can't go
You are,
back.
right.
We can't go back and we can't go right. We can only go forward. And if you're going forward out to create bays, you're parked in front of the park and
Right.
rec office now.
Yeah, because they're just parking there and here's your office.
Carolyn,
What I was going to say was mostly what Desiree just said, but I think it would be, this is a huge number and I don't see a detailed scope. Like it'd be nice to see where that money lives because it's hard to imagine it being that big. And maybe it's because I'm on my phone and I can't see the documents well.
no, it's
No,
not
it
broken down.
Doesn't
super
tell the
specifically.
material, what the structure is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost feels like we're a captive audience with this company and it just feels so big compared to what everyone was expecting. It doesn't feel like this would necessarily be who we want to go with. That's my thought.
Yeah, this is just a study and it's not actually, it's slightly bigger than the current footprint for the maintenance building. And the tobacco barn would be on the existing footprint. So it's not any bigger than the current size.
So the other thought, actually, I'll let Marlene had her hand up first. Marlene.
Thank you. John, I recognize this is very expensive, both options are very expensive. My question is though, if option 2, which obviously creates more space than option 1, does this create long-term issues for the department if we don't go with option 2?
No.
Okay. So
Option 2
you
is
can live with option
So-
1. You could
Yeah.
live with option 1.
absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
So the only thing I was thinking when you brought up the Council on Aging, if they're also doing a building, they might have, I imagine they'll have community space available in their building. So it's 2 city projects. So if we took that out of there and just focused on what the maintenance workers need. in those two buildings. You know, that might lessen.
Yeah, it would definitely lessen the cost for sure. But I don't know if it would solve having, I don't know if Council on Aging gets their own facility, do they really want Parks and Rec to have access to the community room and storing
Yeah.
stuff and doing their things? You know, it's,
Especially if we're talking about expanding the park and programs. And I mean, I'm just thinking like yesterday we had a meeting for basketball and we had to use this building, but now we want to move to weekends, but we can't come in here.
Yeah.
Because it's closed, so we have to use the public safety, but
Yeah.
sometimes they're not open. And
exactly.
there's
We're
really
here.
no other place
Yeah,
in town. that
where
you
if
can-
we had something, you'd have your own
Gather,
spot
so,
and everything. And it's a little different in South Hadley, because South Hadley, they have, you know, the whole, but they don't have maintenance. They don't have maintenance right outside. They don't have trucks and mowers going through everything, you know, so it's more of a Council on Aging community, you know, gathering space. So they have a lot of other, and that's where Andy can have a lot of meetings and things, but he's, you know, he's in charge of that building. So it's a different structure. I think if something's being built, I think that, I think the community room should stay in, because I think it's a one-time shot to get it.
Yep.
You know, I think I think if we just go maintenance alone, I think the community room will never happen. Or it'll be 10 years down the road when the tobacco barn is redone, so.
Yeah, so I think it would be helpful, like Carolyn said, to have more of a detailed understanding of like what costs what, to help see kind of.
Yeah, they're not
gonna
gonna get too far down in the study for their costs that they
Yep.
did this project. You know, we're looking at it, that's the next phase when you start doing bid docs and, and pricing things out more specifically. This is high level, 10,000 feet in the air, work that they did for this project.
I mean, in the scheme of new buildings for the city, it is a smaller number from what we've done more recently, but you know, the schools, the public safety
Yep.
complex, things like that. And this is something, like Desiree said, that is long overdue. And so, I mean, we were all in agreement from the start that this was needing to happen. And so I think, you know, one of the designs needs to move forward.
Like I said, I could talk to them about a third option and just keeping the tobacco barn as is and just work on maintenance and community room and get that in and come with that number. You know,
Yeah.
just seeing what the numbers, and someone who's here every day talking to auditor, treasurer and other folks, you know, there's a hiring freeze. There's a genuine panic within city for spending. So, you know, I think if we're towing the line on getting something that's absolutely needed, and done without looking at extra bells and whistles, I think might go a little further. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe just go the whole
Well,
9 yards.
I would argue that a new replacing a tobacco is not bells and whistles. And
Good point.
you know, it's an investment in our community and, you know, especially with the community room, there's more people being able to access it. And everyone's, you know, driving by there, even just visibly, you know, having it a nicer space, will add to that as well. So I'm more inclined to say, actually, I think these two are good. I don't know that we want a lesser,
Works for me.
less
I'd
for the
rather not ask
community.
them.
Yeah.
The bigger number, they did add 1,700 square feet though. I don't know where.
That's the community, there'll be the community room. Oh, for the
No,
bigger, for the L?
This, yeah, the
I
L
think it's
adds
because they have to
1,700
knock
square
down
feet.
Yeah,
the other building and
they
so they're building
connected,
three
you can see where
buildings.
they're connecting in, where our office in the current maintenance building is separated by a
So this
walkway and
is not
stuff.
new.
No,
So
I,
this
yeah,
is
I
if they
mean,
just do this, but if this whole thing is new, so I don't know that it's necessarily,
oh, so
I think it's adding
option
square
one
feet
is
to
not
what they're
including the-
building.
option one does not include the
Office, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's,
Carolyn.
I was I think it's important not to let the sticker shock change our conversation around what do we need as a Parks and Recreation Commission to move our city forward. And and of course it's always going to come down to that conversation of money, but I think if we start asking for less, then, you know, I don't necessarily know that the senior center is going to cut rooms because their project's going to be expensive. Do you know what I mean? So I think we're always so used to doing more with less, but like, I just, the whole idea of leaving the tobacco barn up and then 7 years, here we go, and I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me either. I think we should ask for what we need and then move forward being fiscally responsible as we move forward.
I think I hit the physical responsibility piece 7 years ago when we could have got it down to 300,000.
Exactly. So can I just clarify? So this is just the study, so, and it would have to be out for bid anyway. So I don't,
Yes,
it doesn't seem like we need to choose one.
No.
Like, we just need to say, we are going to move forward with this project. And then the next step can take place, and then the community will have input, on.
so what would happen next is, I will meet with them and say, okay, yep, we like this, we're gonna try to explore either option moving forward, and then it goes to next, and then to city council in the meantime, getting the legwork of the underground swell of grassroots to try to get that as we move forward would probably be some time first of the year. After election, everything else slows down.
We don't provide a third option. We say, all right, we want option 2. Both of these get denied. How much would it be delayed? Say like, okay, we're not going to go with either one of these. Hopefully that's not the case, but do we have to start all over again?
No,
Okay.
these guys have got a good lay of the land.
Okay.
I think, especially when we're not in the summertime, if they're in their peak work season,
Right.
I think if we could turn it around much quicker, because they have the specs and scope for the most part, to add another, option, third option.
Especially potentially our third option is just scratch this building. They
Yeah.
used to go into their system.
Just going,
remove that,
exactly, and
give
then,
us
and then it's just crunch numbers, so
similar-
it shouldn't
same
be,
as the system.
it shouldn't be a big issue at all.
Okay.
Do we need any sort of vote from us on it now or no? Just you saying, yep,
Yeah, no, I'll just meet with them and say, yeah, we're gonna move forward and see if you have any questions. I know they're not gonna get too deep into the cost estimates and things like that, but if there's any questions, specific questions, just reach out to me before the 25th. That's when I'm meeting with them again.
Just get that first
Yeah,
meeting.
25th, Monday the 25th.
That first meeting, John. Get the first meeting in.
Yeah. The day after the election, I'll be sleeping in the hallway.
This is exciting though, 'cause it's like. the
Yeah, at
next
least
step
it's some,
in
at least it's
this
something,
project.
yeah, we're trying to, but like, I think, as you guys have all relayed, that it's imperative to move something forward and get an answer one way or the other. If it's an absolute, no way we're gonna ever chew off that much money, you better find an option 1, then turn around and we'll get option 1 to you quick and be like, okay.
Yeah.
Cause we really need to.
Yeah, the maintenance building.
We
needs to be
need to,
replaced.
we can't go 2 winters. I mean, this coming winter, we basically went last winter without something, to go, a third winter would be just, I wouldn't work down there if I were them.
November 5th.
I think that should be a campaign question. Would you guys support
It's certainly
a new park building? I think that's everything on my list. Somebody has anything else?
Sorry, Marlene, your hand is still up. Did you have another comment?
Yes, I'd just like to add to Carolyn's comments, regarding the maintenance building or those 2 options. It really it comes down to what is in the best interest of the department and what they need to function. I just wanted to add that.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So any old or continuing business? Give a quick CPA update. There haven't been any new Parks and Rec applications at this point. But at our last meeting, just wanna, there's going to be an update to our CPA plan. And so we have money from the state that we can budget to have this design and plan as well for the 4 different areas that the projects focus on. And so at our next meeting in September, we'll put an item on the agenda so that we can talk about what Parks and Rec would like to see in that plan. It's just kind of broad strokes. It's not super specific, but in terms of like the programming we want to see or anything related to Parks and Rec department. Ava Gerstel is the one who's going to be writing that part of the plan. So we can, after our meeting, I can share kind of what comes out to that. But I wanted to put it on the agenda so that we could talk about it, but also to invite anyone from the community to be able to share as well.
What makes that meeting?
Our next meeting, we haven't scheduled our next meeting. We have the next CPA meeting, but our meeting will be to talk about the Parks and Rec. The plan is happening over the next couple of months.
Oh, okay.
And so, as far as our last meeting, we just all approved that we were moving forward because we're using another company that is going to write the other pieces, the historic preservation and affordable housing sections of that plan. And so it's kind of ongoing over the next couple of months. But I wanted to make sure that we had that on our agenda so we could talk about that and have input on the Parks and Rec plan.
Would it be helpful for our meeting to happen before the September CPA meeting? Or
No, because we're not going to be doing it at the plan, at the meeting.
Okay, got it.
At our September meeting, we'll be reviewing, well, we already reviewed applications. We'll be voting on applications, whether to move them forward or not. So it should happen after maybe in the October meeting or November meeting. So I can.
We did this many times in years past where Jamie, I think was every 2 or 3 years, potential projects for Park and Rec. I mean, stuff we just threw against the wall. I think we have a basketball court being built as a potential project down on the Plain and Strong, like whatever could, like, well, pickleball was on it as against the wall and that came to fruition. The pool was on there, the playground. So there's been projects that have been checked off the list, but kind of, yeah, like say a general scope of, okay, next 3 to 5 years, what is Park and Rec looking for potentially and what kind of projects might be coming forward. So yeah, they've done this historically in the past.
And for our September meeting, I will have John add to the agenda packet and a previous one that we've had, and then also like an example of a newer community's current plan, just so we have something to help focus the conversation.
Good.
Second Wednesdays. This was switched meeting.
Yeah, this was a one-off. 10th.
So the 10th is when regular. Does that work for everybody? Wednesday, September 10th. Great. Marlene, Carolyn.
Works for me.
Yep,
Great.
that works for me.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually great for me.
Great.
Perfect. I'll try to get this room again. This can be tough on Wednesday nights, but I'll try to. If not, we might have to in the basement. Taking this down in the basement.
All right. So if there's no other older continuing business, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Second. Second. And all in favor? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And Joshua, please list me as absent for this meeting. I apologize that the day just got on top of me, and I don't deserve to get credited for the same time and effort and energy that other people put in. So I'm happy I was able to join, but I apologize that I'm so late. So thanks everyone.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.